Just Eff It. Hi, I'm Romy.
Hi, and I'm Carla.
And together we are the
EFFing
Madres. We are here to invite you guys into stories of some inspiring madres
who have changed their lives through an Eff It moment. So here we go. Just Eff It.
Hi guys, happy Monday.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Monday.
We
Camaraderie Monday. It's been a good day though. Good day.
It is.
I just want to say, so everyone knows, Romy had her first two coaching actual clients today, and I got to say, I'm super proud of her. This is what she's been working towards, and it's happening. So I just want to put that out there so that everybody knows.
Yes, it was amazing. I'm so grateful. I'm just so grateful right now. So thank you. And Carla for always pushing me and for everything we've been doing. Because once we start to see those things happening, which is why we're on here, it's so beautiful, right? It's so beautiful on those low days and those hard days when you get a win and you get to do what you love, which is what we ultimately want. So
absolutely.
We are the EFFing Madres. I'm Romy. That's Carla. If you are listening and wondering what it is we do, we say Eff it, and we go after big, scary things as mothers and women in the world.
Yes, and we still are going after those things.
Yes.
We are still very much in the thick of ours, but we interview moms who have gone through them and are in, like Romy said, in the midst of them or wanting to have them, because it's really inspiring to hear these stories of women that have gotten to a point where they did say Eff it and they got into the other side of it and how much happier they are. And even if it didn't necessarily work out in the way they had planned, they learned so much and they become better people for themselves and for their families. So I think it's a really inspiring thing, and it's inspiring to hear everybody share their stories because, like you say, our stories matter. Everyone's stories matter.
Yeah.
But this episode is different because this is the first episode that we were on another podcast being interviewed by Xana and Giselle with the Strong Sunflowers. They invited us on, and their podcast is about women empowerment as well. So go check them out. And we had the pleasure of being interviewed with them and having a chat with them. So I hope you guys enjoy. Romy, you have anything to say?
No, just that this is like the community. We're so grateful for other podcasters and women who are, in this amazing movement of empowering one another to invite us on. So yes, please go check them out, listen to them, follow them. And we just hope you enjoy hearing a little bit more about our journey by other people,
Yeah. All right, everybody, enjoy.
Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Giselle.
And I'm Xana.
And together we are
the Strong Sunflowers.
Hello, Strong Sunflowers. Welcome back to another episode. It's a beautiful Monday. I hope your week goes amazing. And we have another great, amazing episode for you guys. We're actually interviewing the EFFing Madres from the podcast. And even though I'm not a mom yet, I'm super excited to hear their EFFing moments because I know Santa has a lot of those. And I even started this little picture theme when I find her kids, and I'm like, whose kid is this? It's like, it's hers. They're all hers. But we're super excited to bring them to the field today. But before we get started, you already know. But before that, summer is around the corner. So you already know, go to thestrongsunflowers.com and get your Strong Girl Summer PDF. We have these trainers on there and they're going to help you get fit. They have the workouts, they have the meal plans, and it's a free for the free. You know, I love free stuff. So go check it out. But like always, please go like, share, subscribe, to your mom, to your friends, to your cat, to your grandma to go follow the Strong Sunflowers. We love your support. Thank you so much. It's been 2 years and we couldn't have done it without you guys. But Z, who do we have in the field today?
Thanks, Queen. We have Romy and Carla from the EFFing Madres, and I'm really excited about this episode too because one, they're based in Austin, Florida, like us, which I just think is trippy, and two, I found them when I was training for my marathon. And so oftentimes when I was running like 10, 15, 18 miles, I don't even want to think about those times. I had these queens in my ears just motivating me to push further and do hard things because I am a freaking woman and I can do anything. So I'm thrilled that they're on the podcast. They invited me to their podcast too, so you should go listen to that episode. It was so much fun to record and kind of relive the experiences I've had of being, you know, a good girl turned into this powerhouse woman that believes that she can do anything that she puts her mind to. So I love the space that they create for women to share their stories, and I'm thrilled for them to share their story with us today. So I'm going to pass it over to the EFFing Madres to give us their own personal introduction. So Carla, take it away.
I am Carla. I am part of the EFFing Madres with Romy. I'll tell a little bit about myself. So yes, we have a podcast. So I am a new podcaster. We started in August and we've got 30 episodes in. So we are very proud. We're not as far as you guys, but we're very proud of where we've gotten. I just recently moved to Florida from LA, and that's been like a whole like identity shift. Like I was listening to actually one of you guys' episodes today where you, Xana, talked about your transition from Florida to Texas, and it, you know, made me feel a little bit better about where I'm at right now headwise. I am a mom. I have one. It's probably just gonna be the one from from what I can handle right now, at least that's my decision right now. Who knows how I'll feel later on, but that's where I'm at right now.
Well, I'm Romy. I'm the other podcaster of the EFFing Madres, the two of the Madres. And Carla is my best friend. She is my sister from another mister. She is my soulmate. And yeah, we've been friends for many, many, many years. We became mamas together. She watched me become a mom, and then I watched her become a mom. And we've been supportive of one another in our journeys. I have a background. I have done a podcast prior to this years ago. So it wasn't my first one, but definitely my first time doing it on my own. It was my first time figuring it out by myself. We basically came together and decided to go for this, and we're really proud of it. Both of us are in the beauty industry, and both of us are currently trying to branch out into other areas, life coaching, podcasting, and really just found a passion and a love for motherhood, sisterhood, community over the last year. And that's what brought us here. Yeah, that's how we're meeting other moms, you know, like this, and other women doing big, powerful things. So that's us.
I love you both. And again, I'm just so thankful that you're here today and that you're willing to share your story with us. So I'd love to get into kind of the meat of how this podcast even came about. Like, were you just sitting on a porch? Well, no, because you're in different states. So like, I don't know. Did you call each other on FaceTime and say, hey, let's start a podcast? Like what's the origin story of the EFFing Madres?
So, you know, last year was an interesting year. I can speak for myself. I'm sure I'm speaking for Romy as well, but like, I got to a point where I was like, you know what? Things have got to change. Like, there just needs to be some sort of shift. And, you know, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the app Marco Polo, where you can just like talk to people and like send like video messages. So we were like chatting back and forth, and we were just both like, you know, we're not super happy where we're at. We want to do like bigger things. We want to like do things that are just more meaningful, that like, you know, because hair for me and makeup for her, we talked about this just being like, even though we are in a sense impacting someone in a way, like making them feel good, it's very superficial, it's very temporary, and the whole industry around it is very vapid. And we were both at that point where we're like, we don't really want to do this. Like initially when we got together, we are like, what if we did like online beauty tutorials? But like that just didn't tug at our heartstrings. It just didn't. And then we started talking about like just motherhood in general, and just like how, you know, it's tough being a mom, and like how there's this camaraderie amongst moms and that connection and all of that. And we were like, you know what? F it. Let's start a podcast. Let's start a podcast about like, since we were both in that F it moment ourselves, we're like, why don't we just start a podcast and find other moms that have gone through this, because you know that there are other moms who've had these moments. We're not talking about the ones we have every day, because let's be real, we have multiple of those moments every day, all day. But we're talking about those like real deep, life changing, transformative ones, not just for yourself, but for your family. And we were just like, how amazing would it be to build a community of those moms inspiring other moms through those moments, and hopefully motivate those moms that are listening to be like, she did it, she's just like me, I can do it too. So yeah, that's how it really came about. At least that's my version.
I'll just add in there, I think she pretty much nailed it. I mean, we both, yeah, like Carla said, we wanted to get into something that was more meaningful. And in that, we said, fuck it, F it. We said F it. And we decided to just change our lives and go after new things and scary things. And, you know, it's amazing once you say F it and like you get that momentum and that effing ball rolling, what comes from that and what we've been able to explore from doing this and saying this and just going after things. We're both growing so much as women, as friends, as moms. We just have really, I don't think we were prepared. I don't think anybody is when they're like, F it, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go after this. I can do this. I don't think you even know what's really going to come from that. And it's not just the like immediate, I'm going to make a podcast or I'm going to go to coaching school. Like that's the simple part of it, to be honest. Like that's the, I need to do it. But like all the emotions for me that have come up through this process, they're life changing. It's life changing. So these epic moments are truly like they internally, externally change everything in your life. And her and I are on this like together, checking in, Marco Poloing, texting, doing our thing, and just being like, wow, like we're watching ourselves become different people.
I would love to know what was your effort moment, Romy, and then you, Carla, because I'm not a mom, but I'm just like, oh my gosh, I love that you guys, first of all, started this podcast, because here on our podcast, we've interviewed so many moms and they just really motivated me for like, just like gave me some like groundwork for when I do become a mom and like kind of see those moments coming. Like, because I always think of like, oh my gosh, motherhood and it's beautiful. It's like, no, I've been there with Xana at 2 a.m. with two twins and a freaking 4-year-old and then the 7-year-old. And we're sick and we're like, oh my gosh, like what's going on? So I just love that you bring the truth, the honesty to the moment. So like people like me that don't have any kids, we're better prepared for when we do. I'm like, okay, this is an effing moment and I'm going to take some time off. I'm going to hand the kid somewhere. Maybe I'll just do one too. I'll do one too, just like you, Carla, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I think the epic moment was, it honestly was that. It was creating a podcast and going into coaching school in our 40s. You know, we're both in our 40s and we both have one daughter, and we really said, F it, we are going to create a podcast. We don't know how. We're going to do it on our own. We are going to get into a coaching program because we're passionate about wanting to learn this skill, this tool. And we're not too old. We can change our career and our path at any age. We would love to have something that our daughters can really remember from us, look at us, be proud of us. We really wanted to give them something that we were proud of, and wanted to do something for the women that were also going through what we're going through, which is a lot of times we find ourselves sitting there staring at ourselves going, this is not what I want to do. This is actually not where I want to be. I thought I did and I don't. So I have choices now. And what are those choices going to look like? So I know for the both of us, it was saying, F it, we are going to change what we're doing and we're going to find a way to do something that really gives our heart and our soul some loving, because we were lacking that. And we're still in that process of taking scary chances every day, consuming our days with even more time put into this. As moms, we're busy. We have a lot going on. Sometimes creating something new can consume your time, but we're putting the time in, we're putting the effort in because we want something different.
At least for me, this effort moment for me had been brewing for a while. There was just like, I had been a hairdresser in LA for over 12 years. The setup that I had there was very comfortable. And I was getting to a point where I was like, I don't want to be comfortable anymore. If I stay in this, I'm not going to grow. And I don't want to let like another year or 5 go by, because I could easily let it go by like this, doing the same thing and over. And this isn't like filling me up. This isn't filling my cup. So I started really asking the universe, like, hey, I want to be uncomfortable. Like, F it. Like, let's do something that would make me uncomfortable. And like, the podcast for me is a big deal because I am not someone that is forward facing, likes to talk to people. I'm a person of few words. Like, I really don't like to be the one that's like around other people talking. I'm working on being more vulnerable, like, and putting myself out there, but it's really hard for me. So this is like a big step for me, and in uncomfortability. Like for Romy, she's really more natural at it. She's been doing this for a really long time. Like, she's like, I don't care. I'll be out there. And that's just not me. That's like, so this for me is like a really big move. And I feel like it's just the tip of the iceberg, because I keep asking, like, okay, this is good. Like, but I want us to get, or at least for me, but I know Romy too, like, I want us to get to a place where we're like really, really building a big community of moms supporting moms. Like, I say this word camaraderie, moms, camaraderie, because like that connection, once you become a mom, it's it's really deep. Whether you know someone very well or not, the fact that you're a mother and that I'm a mother, there's a bond there no matter what. And I didn't really understand that until I became a mom. And it feels like it's an incredible feeling. So when we have these things and these podcasts and these events that we've done in person, where we have these people around us, it's like a magical feeling. And so we just want to keep building on that. So we're in this effort moment, hoping that, like more and more keeps happening. So yeah, that's pretty much that.
I love the movement that you all have created. And I was like having major FOMO seeing that event that you hosted in Austin a few weeks back. So I hope you do more events, because I selfishly want to come to them. And Giselle, I'll give you a kid. You can borrow one, so you can be a part of the community too. But she's a godmother, so hopefully that counts.
I have like eight godchildren. That should count for one kid.
Yeah, I think it counts, but I guess we have to ask the effing Madres if it counts. I'd love to know, like, going into, you've started this podcast, you've been in it since it'll be a year this August. You've already had some events. Like, can you think of like one or two of your most memorable experiences thus far since kind of stepping into this space? Romy, for you, it's probably more comfortable based on what Carla's sharing, but Carla, this has been kind of a step into the unknown, as Elsa would say it. So I'd love to hear let's start with Carla this time, and then we'll go to Romy in regards to a memorable experience that you've had since starting the podcast.
Well, sharing the topic, or like the what the actual podcast is about with women, I think honestly, like, it was really, really something that lit a fire under me, at least, because when I would talk to women and share about what it is that we were talking about, the reaction that we got from other women, other moms, that were like, oh my God, I love that. Like, I want to be on your show. I want to talk about mine. I want to share it. I want to be able to like help someone else out there. The fact that like people want to get on, moms want to get on and share these stories with other moms, so hopefully help motivate them, because they themselves were in that position where they were, lost or whatever, and that they want to help motivate, like that right there, like, it makes this whole thing like worth doing, because having that motivation and that inspiration hearing from these moms is incredible. And one other thing I will say that has really sparked something was that event was so magical. Like, that weekend alone, we want to do events now nationwide, globally, because it was a room full of women that I didn't know, yet I felt like I'd known them for years because of the connection and the bonding that we had. Everybody just put all of their stuff aside, and it was just moms bonding and having a good time. And so that right there was one of the most memorable so far, aside from just like having awesome badass moms on.
Yeah, I definitely would second that. The Madre event was, I hosted it at my house. I've got a pretty good community of moms out here, being that my daughter is like in elementary school. So I've gotten to know so many of the moms. I love the women that, the moms at her school. I've got a lot of friends here. My friends are moms, everyone pretty much in my network, my family are moms. I surround myself with some really strong women and really strong moms. And so we felt like this would be a great first space to host it, because we had such a good community here. And a few people that were on our podcast that we met through the podcast flew out. Leslie came out. She did this whole thing for us about like self defense and how to protect ourselves and identity. And it was just beautiful. And one of the other women we got close to through social media, she's become like family. She was on our podcast. She spoke. A few of my friends were here that spoke. And it's like Carla said, I think watching us create this kind of space, this platform, this community, and then watching it kind of be in person and see all the things that we want to do kind of happening around us during that event in my house. It was like, oh yes, this is why we're doing it. This is what feels good. This is what we want to do. And it's like, we didn't know until we were in it. And I think the women that came to support us, they didn't know as well. They're like, sure, we'll come. We don't know what an Epic Madre event is, but like, we love you guys and we're going to support you and we'll be there. They showed up, and people started crying. People were emotional. People were hugging. People have kept in touch since then. We got all this amazing, like, life lesson skills that nobody was prepared to get. We salsa danced. We did self defense. We shared stories about motherhood. We shared stories about what you love about motherhood and what you effing don't love about motherhood. Like, we just really allowed this space. It made me feel like Tawanda and Fried Green Tomatoes, legit made me feel like we were all going to bust out our mirrors or something in a circle. But it was like such a community of women and moms. And after that event, we all left being like, okay, this is what we want to do. This is what we want to do. We want to do it everywhere. We want to do it in your city, in your state, in your country. And we want this to just grow, because if it can do that for the amount of women that it did it for in that space, imagine just continuing to create that and bringing that community larger and larger and larger. Like, what a powerful thing. So that event left me with like the feeling of, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing right now.
I love that for you guys. I want to, you know what? I'm going to get pregnant right now. I'm like, I need a baby. I have had baby fever for years now, but I just love, I surround myself with moms all the time. First of all, they have snacks. That's how Santa and I met at church. I'm like, you always want to sit next to the mom at church because they got the snacks. They always have the foods. But I've always surrounded myself, because I love children. I love babies. So I've always surrounded myself with moms. And I'm always so amazed on how many things they can put on their plate, and like all the things. Like, even with Santa, I'm like, oh, you have 2 podcasts, you're going to grad school, you work full time, you have 4 kids. I'm like, what? I'm barely like surviving here. But we would love to know, where can our field follow, subscribe, like, support, join? Because I know a lot of moms follow us and listen to us. Like, we want to support all the things.
You can go on to our Instagram page, which is the Epic Madres. And we have on our link. You can go on there, and we would love it if you would subscribe. As you guys know, as podcasters, like, we need those subscriptions. They really help us. And so please go subscribe, go follow us. So we're on social media, and then we have our theeffingmadres.com, right? And that is our website. But all of our links are on our Instagram and our link tree. You can catch us every Monday. We are on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, YouTube. So you can visually watch us. You can subscribe to that channel, or just to listening, however, whatever the best way is for you. And that's really where we're at right now. But we are available pretty much on all platforms. And like we said, it's Monday, and that's when our new episodes go up.
Love it. We're in the same mindset. We always take a summer break from the Notebook of Brene Brown. We're like, you've got to regenerate that energy. So totally understand that. Y'all, I just love you. I love the momentum you're creating. I think you called it in the podcast that I was on, is it the EFFing momentum? How do you word it? Am I saying it right? Okay. the effort momentum. I felt that before, right? It's like once you can say no and set a boundary and like look a goal in its face and be like, I'm going to accomplish you, something changes within you. And so I love that you're creating this space for women, for mothers to just live the life that they've always dreamt of. And so at the end of most of our podcasts, we have mic drop moments. And so I'm going to kick off. I'm going to kick off with this question, and I'll have Carla answer first and then Romy to close out. And the question is, and really it's more of a thought. I want you to think about a mom right now that may be listening to this podcast that is feeling stuck, that is feeling overwhelmed, that is feeling like she's not enough, that is feeling like she can't accomplish her dreams until her kids are grown and out of the house because that's what society has told her to do. And what advice would you give her to lean into her effort moment and take that dream by the horns and make it happen?
Am I able to cuss? Then fuck society. Fuck society, because all of that shit, it's all made up. You can do whatever you want as long as you set your mind to it, but you have to believe in yourself. And I'm saying that out loud because I also struggle with that too. It's hard, like, to sometimes be able to be like, am I worthy? Am I capable? But you know what? You are. You birthed the baby. You are a badass mom. You are able to do anything you want. You don't have to wait until your kids are doing their thing. You have your life to live. So just go after it because you can and you should and you deserve it.
I'm going to effing second that because she's right. And this is why we are soulmates. But yes, basically, fuck that entire story that you've been telling yourself and fuck the story that everyone's telling you as well. Their story of you does not matter. And if you need to change your story of you, that's what an effing moment is about, because we tell ourselves lies based on the lies that we've been told. And then we start to believe those lies. And so we're in a space right now. And we hope if you're listening and you're wanting that moment, like it's almost like shaking yourself. Find the people around you that are going to support you while you do really big, bold things and scary things, and not the people that are going to tell you you can't, you're being crazy. What are you thinking? Your family, your children need you. Your family, your children need you to be happy. And when you're happy, they're happy. So if you're not happy and the pressure and the lie is, I can't because I have finances and a home and my baby and my husband, fuck that. Because you have one life. You have one fucking life and it passes you by really quickly. And if you don't catch it and you don't go after those things, your children and your partner aren't going to be able to see you in your full fucking like glory of who you are. So that would be my advice to any mom that is sitting there going, how the fuck do I get out of this?